Been at the beach all damn day, man. I got some things to work out. All right. Keep it moving and grooving, y'all. This is Peace and Conversation with Zane Roshé. Today with us, we got Samwyse. I'm gonna get into to his proper introduction after we hit this interview. But before we start, I just want to say thank you, Sam, for coming on today.
Oh, thank you for having me,
Bless,
man.
brother. And if this is y'all's time to pray, please, please pray. If this is your time to do yoga, self-reflect, do whatever makes you feel happiest, do whatever makes yourself feel like you're healing, because that's what this is all about. I don't like to claim myself as a spiritual leader by any means. I'll be guiding this meditation, and it's simple guidance that had helped me get into meditation myself. So that's the reason for it. All right, my friends, we got 10 minutes on the clock. Start off by just breathing naturally and finding your breath where it's most prominent. For some, that's in their stomach, chest, throat, nostrils. The subtle expansion and compression, rise and fall. We can use our nostrils as an anchor, always focusing on the coolness as you inhale and the heat as you exhale. You may even feel your nostrils hairs moving a little bit. As you exhale, can you feel the wind on your upper lip? And how does that upper lip feel against your lower lip? There are hundreds and hundreds of bodily sensations for us to draw upon, to be in the moment with. Let's bring our awareness to the back of our neck, inviting feelings of coolness, heat, tingling, itchiness, tension, relaxation. I will not guide these breaths, but for the next few breaths, every time we exhale, release any tension you may be feeling in your neck. Good. Letting our awareness rise to our ears, noticing how the skin, the muscle, and also how the sense feels. No need to count or define, but notice the different sounds around you. These are the noises that make up our beautiful world. The sound of your heart swallowing spit, digesting food is all a part of it. Let your forehead relax. Temples relax. Allow your eyes to close or come to a soft gaze if they haven't so already. Let your cheeks just melt. And your jaw sink to the floor. Focusing on gravity, working on your facial features. Let's bring this awareness down to our lower body. This type of meditation is called a body scan. The way I think of it is it's like a little car that you're just driving through your body, noticing how different places feel. Let's focus on our left foot, where it touches the ground, how the muscles feel, how your toes against each other feel. And bonus points if you can actually feel your pinky toe. Taking some breaths, we're going to explore the rest of our left leg, just like that little car. Noticing how your pants against your skin feel, the hair in the air feels. All the way down to how your muscles are feeling. If you start to feel distracted, just smile through it. Let's focus on our right leg for a few breaths. Oftentimes, we don't give our lower body too much attention. It's so far from our heart, our lungs, and our brain. Now we're going to rise up to our hips, feeling your lower back, your belly, rising through your solar plexus and your rib cage, up to your chest. Here, we're just going to breathe naturally and focus on how your chest feels. The subtle expansion and compression over and over again. Maybe your shirt touches your skin in a different place as you inhale. Once you feel you've found your breath, if you'd like, you can put your left hand on your heart because we're going to find our heartbeat in our chest. If you don't do this often, an easy way to do so is to hold your breath for a few extra seconds. Staying regular with your breath and acknowledging your heart. I think of my heart as the drummer and my lungs as the bass player. Focused on both. Now we're going to feel our heart in any other place in our body that we can feel it. If your fingers are intertwined, you may feel it there. If your foot is against the floor, you may feel it there. Your throat, temple, etc. Focusing on all of them at once. We have so much time to go out, and this is our time to go in. All right, my friends, time to start waking back up. Mm. Yeah, that felt good. Yeah, for real. All right. Keeping it moving and grooving. This is Peace and Conversation with Zane Roshé. Today we got Samwyse on the other end, yo. This man is a rapper, a singer, a producer, an engineer, a musician of every instrument you've ever made. He has terrific hair. Sam, much love, brother. I love having you on today. And he's a chef. He's got a background in baking in many ways. Samwyse, where are you at in the world right now, my friend?
I'm in Washington DC, born and raised here, back here, and about to traverse the world from here. Basically.
Facts. Has it? You were gone from DC for like about 5 years, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, you and I went to Loyola, New Orleans, and I
Yes, sir.
stayed down there till August 2019. Graduated in December 2018. So
got you.
So, yeah.
How's it been being back home? I know that when we were at school, I remember hearing about different collectives you were a part of, or different producers and different rappers that you're homies with. Have you been able to connect with them a lot since being back home?
Definitely. I'm still Irie Collective. Me and my brother Ayotemi. We're still making moves. We're actually about to go out to LA.
Yo, I'm in Malibu, bruh. I gotta see you when y'all come out.
26th through the 5th.
What kind of business y'all coming out on? Or can you speak on it?
I can speak on it kind of generally. There's a lot of stuff that's we're working on. There's people that we've connected with previously in LA. This fucking amazing producer, Jared Gosling. He has a studio, Burbank, I believe, something like that. But he's an incredible producer, engineer. This man has worked with a lot of artists that I'm very much fans of.
Very cool.
So it was exciting the first time we met him and saw him, and And I'm in the studio and I'm like, "Dad, you have a plaque on the wall for Kareem Bailey Ray for like one of my favorite songs of hers." Like,
Wow, that's dope, bro.
just like
And
humbly, just like, "Yo, I did that." You know.
I swear, man, you and Io, of course, the talent is what draws so many of these connections, but also both you guys are real personable people, man, and you guys are willing to take chances when it comes to meeting somebody that a lot of people might feel intimidated by the moment.
Appreciate that. I'm definitely intimidated in the moment and before the moment. But yeah, I've definitely learned to just like fucking power through and just like be there, you know?
Yeah, so you're a real 100%er, man. Like you really do every aspect of the art, which is so dope. And speaking of being a little bit nervous in the moment, you know, you belong in studio sessions with the greats right now. And so once you start seeing once you're being in these studio sessions, what's kind of like going through your head? Because since you can do it all, are you kind of feeling like, oh, I should just be a rapper right now, or I should just be an engineer right now?
Hmm. That's a great question because I'm definitely still trying to figure that out for myself, you know? I mean, there's definitely situations when, for example, with that guy or with just anyone that we're collabing with in LA, most of them are producers, you know, so we'll step in to their studio or their vibe. So I'm like, I already know what I can do on production. I'm trying to, you know, see what they can do on production. And also a lot of times I feel like sometimes uh it's hard for me to write on top of my own beats because I'm working
Right.
on them and I'm in that mindset of like music rather than song, you know what I'm saying? And it's like different parts of my brain that operate at different times.
Would
So
you say that for your own beats, the favorite vocals that you've had on them have been rappers who just come in and fuck it up in a way that you had not expected?
definitely, absolutely. Or singers, you know what I'm saying?
What do you
Or
think your favorite like who did your beat the most justice, or is this a loaded question?
that's definitely a loaded question. As
As
fuck.
fuck. As fuck.
Uh, I couldn't even say, man. I could not even
Yeah,
say.
bro, you're literally a part of, I would say, hundreds of songs that are out now.
Maybe so. I'm definitely not that are out. I've probably hundreds of songs, but not all of them. Most of them are probably unreleased, to be honest.
True.
Yeah.
What's something right now that you're feeling a lot of excitement about, or that really is fueling you when you wake up in the morning these days?
Mm. Well, actually, to be honest, I've been struggling with that motivation since the quarantine started. And about like a week ago, I started meditating again and doing yoga again, which I
Mm.
stopped doing for some reason. For some, I don't know.
Why do we stop? I always ask why do I stop?
And then I start again, and I'm like, what? Well, like, you know, like this is only 30 minutes, maybe an hour of my time. What the fuck? Like, what I think I was gonna do? What am I doing other than scrolling through Instagram that's stopping me? Especially now that we're not doing
Right.
anything,
Right.
you know, what's doing that? And then afterwards, I just feel clear and awake, and like, you know, what we just did was beautiful. Also, you said during the meditation, you were like, imagine the heart as the drummer and the lungs as the bassist. I almost lost my shit. You seen the movie, the Emotions movie?
Oh, y yeah, that's a
Animated
good
shit?
ass movie.
Well, that's what I'm imagining with, like, the heart being, like, the drummer and and it's like, "Keep up!" to the lungs are trying to keep up with the heart.
You know, actually, a great children's movie would be to take that emotions thing and kinda make it into, like, a mindfulness body thing, and, like, you have this cool video about your heart playing the drums, and if you listen to your drums, then your bass can get connected and, like, you know, teaching way.
That's actually a great idea. Holy shit.
Yo, these interviews, man, they always spark
Yep,
the best ideas.
exactly. Damn,
So
damn.
what have you been slapping these days?
Like, other
Yeah.
people's music? Oh, man, I can't even lie. I've been bumping "Pray for Paris" a whole lot by West Side Gun.
I haven't heard that yet. Am I
Oh,
off right now?
I mean, a little bit. I mean, they're kind of like underground hip hop, but they're not really underground anymore, to be honest. But New York, it's the revival of real hip hop back in the mainstream. That's what it is. That's why, first of all, I really fuck with whole Griselda camp. And I was just talking with my homies last night. They're huge West Side Gun fans. And so he's basically, I would say, not like the leader of Griselda, which is like a collective record label. And he's like an architect. And he says like, I am probably not gonna rap in a number of years. He said he's better at like putting songs together and like being the architect. And he only raps because
Wow.
he's nice. So I'm like, that type of energy, that's what we need. You know what I mean? Like,
We need visionaries like that.
exactly.
And speaking of
Exactly.
which, Sam, I'm not asking for a detailed 5-year plan, but I see so many lanes for you, and I know that you see so many lanes for yourself as well. And I was just wondering, kind of in 5 years, what would be like a super ideal manifestation for you?
Having my own studio, operating that.
What city?
What city? I'm gonna be honest right now. I'm not gonna tell many details because it's still in the works, but it's looking like I'm moving back to New Orleans.
Facts.
Potential investment opportunities for having a studio. So,
Wow. Yo, I'm sliding through.
well, that's what I'm saying. Wherever it is, it low key doesn't really matter because it's like anyone could pull
Exactly.
up.
Yeah, and I like these whole.
Yeah,
and I like these whole. I saw this video on YouTube of Lyric Lemonades, art compound, or Lyrical Lemonade, insane. You know that guy? He makes all the videos for everybody.
Yeah, and
Yeah, Cole Bennett. He's the shit.
Cole
bro.
Bennett.
He's the shit, bro.
He's fire. Yeah, actually, it's funny because like a couple of years ago, how many years ago was that? 2017, 2018. Definitely had a vision with some friends about, art compound and having a studio with like, it's just a whole space, you can live there. You can,
a kitchen,
all that, like courtyard, potentially like a basketball hoop, like all that shit.
You need a basketball hoop. You need a basketball hoop.
You need a basketball hoop. You need some type of sports thing, but
yeah.
What
about like competitive? What about like competitive hacky sack circle?
I don't even know if I've ever experienced that.
I was once at one of my first music festivals as a kid growing up. I saw a hacky sack circle of like 50 people and they're all like ninjas kicking it and shit. This fool jumps up, does a roundhouse back kick in the air and accidentally hits a woman in the face.
That's OD.
It was the saddest, funniest moment I'd ever witnessed, bro.
Everyone's laughing, and there's like one person who's like, "Are you okay?"
Okay, so we got the art compound with the studio that you're kind of running.
You got
touring.
I'm definitely trying to, it's so weird because I have so many lanes available to me, and I feel like I'm in a place in my life right now where I'm just reflecting and trying to visualize and see where I want to go. Because I could just go strictly down the lane of being a producer and an engineer and just like live in the studio.
And you could cash out pretty quick that way in a lot of ways.
In a lot of ways, because I could have points on hella records, like endless records. And I got some people in LA who do that, you know what I'm saying? One of my homies I can't say his name, but one of my homies just got a song on Tiana Taylor album. He's a song with J. Cole that might not ever come out, but that's still lit, you know what I mean? Like, so seeing how he operates in that world, he creates loop packs and beats. Like, so you can get points in any different way as a producer. As a songwriter is definitely.
But at the same time, for anyone who hasn't seen Samwyse live, this man plays every instrument, sings like a motherfucker, starts fucking spitting, and then he's got everyone saying that they love their mama. It's the most wholesome show I've ever seen in my life.
Sorry, because if you don't love your mama, you're definitely a serial killer. That's all. Yeah, or you had some fucked up childhood shit. I can't comment on that. But yeah, I mean, I see myself in every role in the music industry, to be honest. Besides maybe the business part, I'm good on that part. I have someone to deal with that. Luckily, thank
How's
God.
how how's that been? Has it been a nice smooth transition? I mean, you have a lot of information about the industry. You know, I've worked with you with a lot of music business stuff, and you have a great head on your shoulders for that. So you're not someone who's ever going to sign a deal that isn't going to be good for you, I feel.
Right. I'm definitely reading everything. First of all the contracts. I'm getting that reread by my peoples. It hasn't been a smooth transition. It has been a healthy transition, though. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, rocky steps that we've had to take, but it's like the strongest relationships have to go through, you know, some type of discourse and I don't know, you gotta go through some bumps in the road in order to make it, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And it's tough out here, man, because there's no roadmap to where we're trying to go. There's no steps for us because there's a million different steps, you know, and like maybe one day all of a sudden you blow up on some brand new app or some shit. And now that's a big part of your career. You know,
Mhm.
you really don't know where to go with it.
And it might be your least favorite song that you've ever made. You know what I mean?
Oh, Macarena.
My cousin was telling me on tour, it was where he first learned. Shout out to my cousin and the Revivalists, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out revivalists, like crazy young OGs in New Orleans.
Bro, they're not even young anymore. They all got kids and
They ain't even they just OGs now.
yeah, type shit. No, but he's saying it was interesting to see their favorite songs on the album or their favorite songs to play. They might not play on tour. And some of their least favorite songs are sometimes the fans' most favorite songs. So
Damn.
and so I think that, like 100 days of the year because they're on tour for like 100 and something days, like singing that same song every night that they don't like.
That they wish they changed that second verse.
Exactly, exactly. But to be honest, personally, after I hear one of my own songs, no matter how good it is, you're always your worst critic. You're always your own worst critic, and I don't know if that'll ever change. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's
Right.
why I fuck with other people's production because I can't sit there and be like, "Oh, I wish this was," it's different than something I would have thought of, and that way, like, I can think of it as more complete.
Right. Right.
Even when they're probably criticizing their own shit, like,
So damn. So you're gonna have 2 days, 3 days a week where you're producing for other people. Then you're gonna have 3 days a week where you're finding beats for yourself from other people.
exactly. Or I've been making beats way quicker, so the process has been easier.
Yo, I might have to cop for real.
Hey, look, I just got this app, which I could show you later if you want. Like, we could do a little screen share situation. It's a free plugin, free. It's called Ripcord, and it has a bunch of preset chord shapes like neo jazz,
Cool.
filthy dark jazz. You know what I'm saying? And with one key, you can play wild chord. It's a chord trigger. So
That's
it's
fire. I actually started making beats on my phone like not too long ago. And I was like, wait, what? This has been inside of my phone the whole damn time?
bro. There was that 17-year-old who got the Kendrick placement off the phone.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was on Damn too. Which one was that? Element or some shit? No, not Element.
I don't even remember which one it was. I just remember that it
Yeah,
was
yeah. That's insane.
because I was like, none of these sound like they would be on a. But that goes to show you don't need shit. Like my homie Prosper Jones, shout out in New Orleans. I'm just gonna shout out hella people in this place.
Yeah, please.
He
I'll tag them all.
he sent me a mix that he was just doing, and he has like $18 headphones and Windows computer with FL Studio. I think he has some cracked waves shit, but like, bruh, this shit sounds incredible. You don't need all this fancy gear. I just got this $800 thing, which is like, yeah, this shit is fucking dope as fuck. But I don't really need this to make hits. People have definitely made hits off of Apple headphones
Yeah.
and a laptop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the new app Vocally too is hella cool.
Oh, I've seen that on
I
Instagram.
could see you fucking Vocally up. That would be your game. So Sam, you know, First off, I just want to like let you know that you've been going through a little bit of a dry spell or a tough time when it comes creatively. That being said, man, every time I see any of your content, it really, really, truly inspires me. And so I would like to know what your steps are going to be to be getting your head back in the game correctly.
Well, I feel like this week and the second half of last week has gotten me more inspired. I've been reconnecting with my homies from high school and out here that we had a collective back in the day called OG Council.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that one.
Yeah, shout out OG Council. There's 9 of us. One of us is still in New York. So he's doing his thing. Tomcat. Just incredible, incredible individuals. So, I've always stayed connected with them. But now that we're like all stagnant, just had to check up on everybody. And now that just inspires me too to just like have new life and shit. So
Right. And talking with the old homies and talking about what you're doing now, it's sometimes for myself, it's like an illustration of my growth.
hmm and I feel like everybody is kind of on the same path. Just maybe different like roads. You know what I'm saying? Different side quests. Same mission, different side quests.
True. That's cool, man. Yeah, I feel like during quarantine, everyone's talking to people from like way in their past. I'm like, what's up, Shotty from sophomore year?
Well, actually, my homies, half of them live like in my neighborhood.
What neighborhood are you at?
So I am technically in Michigan Park in Northeast DC. I'm right outside Brookland, which is more well known of a neighborhood in DC. Definitely just got gentrified. Like what? Literally, the year I came back from college, like my whole neighborhood changed. I was like, damn.
What? How did it change?
So like, you're not gonna know, but I'm gonna point that
Okay.
way. I'm gonna point. So I live across that way. Right across the street from me is a hospital, and that bitch is now shut down, and it's just urgent care shit. But there used to be like crazy people walking up and down my street that got discharged from the hospital that probably shouldn't have been discharged.
Damn.
And then that way is Brookland, and that's where Catholic University of America is, which is like expensive Catholic school. There's like the shrine. They call it Little Rome. There's hella
Whoa.
churches and shit. They basically developed all this land right next to the metro station. They took like an entire block, and now there's like stores and apartments that are way too overpriced above them. You know what I mean? Type shit.
Is it like getting
Starbucks.
hella white too?
Of course. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was already like my neighborhood was always. It's like one of the most diverse in DC, and not anymore. Type shit.
That must be a bummer for you.
But to the left of me, Michigan Park, that has not changed. So that's good. And that's technically where I am at.
Got
You know
you.
what I mean?
Got you. Yeah, because you're a very culturally diverse minded kind of person. It feels like to me. Is that like is that kind of part of your identity to yourself?
Absolutely. I mean, I was raised around mostly non-white people, mostly melanated folk. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I went to school. That's how I live. Those are my friends. So like low-key when I came to college, that was like a shift. I went to private school my whole life, but it was still like Catholic private school, and then it was still like mad integrated and like, you know, had like the school I went to, for example, it was like a pay what you can type of shit. It wasn't one of those private schools that's like mad expensive.
Like it's not like the flyest, cleanest uniforms type shit.
Nah, actually it was cool. We had to wear ties and all that shit,
Oh,
but it was like you could wear whatever you wanted. So I would
I
wear
already know.
the brightest colors. I still have it. I had a bright lime green skinny
Oh
tie.
shit.
You know what I'm saying? I wear that with my pink shirt and my fucking like purple pants type shit. Got the suit jacket. So yeah. No, we were fly. We were definitely fly.
Is that something that I don't know if you're ever going to have kids, but are you going to make sure that your kids are surrounded by a bunch of different types of people?
Definitely. Definitely. I don't think it's even gonna be like something I have to try. You know what I mean? Like it's not something that, at least not that I know of, it's not something my parents tried. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like they low key let me decide what school I went to after like third grade.
Wow.
You know, and I was like, I'm trying to go there with my homies. And then I went to this one school for 2 years and it was ass and I was bullied hella. You know what I mean?
How could you bully Samwyse? I actually don't understand.
When I get flustered or like whatever, I get all pink. And they used to call me Pinky.
Oh, damn. You're talking to King Pinky right now.
Exactly. I'm looking at you right now. I'm like, I feel you. Look, man, I can't help it. Like it's just nature, you know what I'm saying? We all got blood.
It's like the rest of the interview. I'm like, all right, Pinky.
I mean, I'll take it now because Pinky in the brain. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Pinky.
So you're back at your folks' house.
Yeah.
You're talking with the old homies. Is it kind of a mind fuck for you?
In what sense?
In that, I don't know, it just seems like so, like when I'm back, because normally I live at my folks' house right now, but right now I'm down in Malibu, but that's another story. But like during quarantine, I was back at my folks' house. I'm talking to my old homies. I'm feeling like I'm fucking grounded. I don't know. It just kind of like threw me back into like a little bit of a past vibe, you know?
Definitely. I feel like at least when I was in college and stuff, when I would come home for summers or for some like months, it would be a mind fuck in the sense that I would fall back into old habits that might not be the best, you know?
Right. Like how you talk to certain people or what you smoke or how you eat or whatever.
How I smoke, you feel me? Like,
How I smoke, not what you
you know
smoke.
what I'm saying? Every time I used to come back, and still like when I link up with homies, the sessions are insane. You feel me? Like
Yeah, I really do.
2 blunts per head at least.
Oh, God.
That is something
My
that,
ass has been on the spliffs. I need to get off those spliffs, though.
listen, I hear you, bro. I hear you. My boy Thrax King. If I could, I can't find it right. Oh, here we go. Give me this herb blend. It's Damiana. That's one of the herbs in there. It's like this beautiful herb blend, and I've been spliffing with that lately.
Damn, bro. You got appreciation for that herb. I remember you were going to Hawaii back in the day, and you were in the Bay for like a quick layover, and you hit me up and you're like, Zane, I'm in the Bay. Like, where's the herb at?
Dog, you know what happened with that?
What?
So I think we flew in at like noon or like 1, and our flight was 6 a.m. the next day.
Oh,
And we had like a hotel literally like right next to the airport, free shuttle type shit. And then it was like the end of the BART line. You know what I'm
very
saying?
end.
And so the very end. And that's definitely where people, like when we were waiting for the BART, definitely saw like the fucking giant bikes and people doing like drag racing with
Right.
bikes, like down
Right.
like wheelies and shit. I
Yeah.
was like, that's tough as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
The Bay takes the automotive world like crazy serious, bro. Like we have ridiculous sideshows, donuts, bikers. It's dope.
I need to go back though, dog. Cause I went to some park. I don't even know. It was in the middle of the city or whatever, and just went up to some kids who looked like they were sparking. I was like, "Where's the gas? Where's the dispensary?" He was like, "I'm a dispensary."
Fat.
Now, damn, how much? Let me get like 2 dubs, like a 40. You know what I'm saying? In DC at the time, $40 was like 2 grams, 3 grams, maybe. Like now, $40, like I could get an eighth now for
Dude,
$25.
fuck
You know what
paying
I'm saying?
even. I don't even
Dude,
want to pay $25 for an eighth. I'm spoiled as hell.
he gave me so much weed for $40. I was like, holy fuck. And then we sparked the J. It was me and my girlfriend at the time. And I maybe sparked half that J, and I was more smacked than I've ever been, bro. We were on a hammock. I was like, yo, I'm kind of scared right now. I'm so smacked. I don't know where the
This
fuck I
boy came
am.
to the Bay and
I don't
got
know where we're
faded.
going. I don't know how to get home. I'm like, oh shit.
Man, you lived in Hawaii for a minute, bro. You lived in Hawaii. You went to college in New Orleans, grew up in DC. You play reggae, but you do hip hop. I feel like your life is very eccentric. And do you feel like that kind of gives you this advantage when it comes to your sound?
I guess I don't really think about it, or I try not to think about it in terms of like advantage in terms of compared to other
True.
people's.
What do you mean?
But
What do you mean
it
by that,
definitely
actually?
is. Well, I try not to. With I feel like the art world and especially hip hop definitely has this, who's the best type
Right.
mentality when, and especially hip hop. But that's like the nature of hip hop. That's ingrained in the culture. You feel me? Is like battles. We have to know who's at the top. You know what I'm saying? Like every other genre pretty much doesn't really do that. Like people definitely say who's the best guitarist, like all this shit, but it's always still like a list of at least 5 people, you know what I mean? So I try not to compare because still when I look at other artists, it's like nobody can do what anyone else is doing. Like, yeah, they can like go and like copy the sound or the flow or whatever, but at the end of the day, it sounds completely different. Because it's like different people, different producers, whatever. So it gives me an advantage in the sense of I am my own person and I know for a fact that nobody can copy what the fuck I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? And that's a little reassuring
True.
for sure.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
What?
experiences is what I speak on when I write. You know what I mean? So that's no one's experienced what I've experienced. People have experienced similar things, but I got my own perspective on how I've experienced life.
You
So
truly do. Have you been having any musical influences that you've been touching upon a lot lately? For instance, like, have you been enjoying singing more, or have you been like put in like maybe some certain type you using that app to get different types of chords in your shit? What have you been on lately?
I've been on this instrumentation. I was talking to my homie yesterday about this. I've been listening to a whole lot of Robert Glasper.
Oh, that Neo so chill.
Always listening to him. He's definitely one of my favorite artists. You know what I'm saying? And that whole camp, Derek Hodge, Chris
You know, I
Davis.
rapped with Robert Glasper once.
Bro, you did. And that was one of the most legendary stories. A year after that, maybe 2 years, because I was supposed to go to that show and I was blown. I forgot I had something else. It was at Gasa, right?
It was at Gossa. It was sold out.
I saw him, I want to say 2018 Jazz Fest. Uh, I spent the rest of my money. It was $40 cash. I only had like
We
$46
were
in
nickel
the
and
bank.
diamond, bro. Bro.
Bro, it was wild. It was at One Eye Jack's, and it was a show that started at 2 a.m. It was wild. He had
I
like back
love those late night
12 to
jazz.
2, and then he had the 2 to 4. And bro, I was fucking like as close as I am to the computer right now, basically, to Robert Glasper and Derek Hodge. And then fucking Kamasi Washington came out.
Shut the fuck up.
And like him and Irving Mayfield were killing it and they were all just winging it at all points
They're
in
just faded, winging it with the homies.
and it was so beautiful, dog. I got to dap all of them up. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh,
It was ethereal. That's the best way to put that.
wow.
Ethereal. Yeah.
Ethereal.
Nah, but I've been working on my instrumentation. I've been trying to take my guitaring, my playing to the next level, just with more actual music theory knowledge and less playing by ear, which is how I do my thing.
Have you been playing acoustic or electric?
My baby. Let me show you my baby.
Yeah, please. Ooh, that is so beautifully crafted.
It's a Cort guitar.
Look how proud he is, y'all.
Hold up. Check out this little, I don't know if you can see this very
Oh my lord. That is beautiful. It looks like you're about to take a
well.
katana out.
Listen, this is a local DC artist named John Y. He usually makes belts and shirts, but now he makes leather guitar straps. He's fire. Leatherworking, handmade. Boom.
Wow.
Plug. Local.
That's fire.
Now, shout out to my dude Luis in New Orleans for hooking me up with that guitar. His pops owns a guitar shop in, oh, please don't sue me, Venezuela, I think, in South America. I'm gonna just say that. Because it could be El Salvador. I forget. I'm so sorry, dog.
Hey, but Sam loves you. Yo, Sam, what would be your ideal either feature or collaboration with? Who's like some artist that you would kill with?
Off jump, Anderson .Paak. I'll just say that.
And how would you see the session going? Would you be producing, having him on drums type shit?
But I definitely could see just like coming up with some chords, you know what I'm saying? And then immediately he'd be like on some shit, drumming, make the little beat. Maybe we're working with Dr. Dre, who fuck knows, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, facts.
Bro, I definitely see that session being mad collaborative. Shit. Because I only assume that he also plays like hella instruments besides drums. Like
he's too good at drums to not play everything else.
Yeah, most drummers that I know who are even remotely that good also are like nice as fuck on the keys and like other instruments. So
yeah.
Fucking switching it up completely. James Blake.
Oh,
I love James Blake.
That man is a machine. He's like a mixture between like fucking Bon Iver and Travis Scott or something.
That's exactly, that's so wild. That's so wild. Bon Iver was one of my main influences when I was in high school. That's how I got to singing high as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Because
I love Bon Iver too. He's helped me get through some shit.
Facts. Actually, fun fact, I was the captain on the soccer team for my club team and my high school team. And before almost every single soccer game, I would listen to Bon Iver, like the album Bon Iver, the self-titled. That shit, I don't know why. It's so calming. Like everyone listens to trap.
So calming.
Everyone in the fucking bus is listening to trap and getting hype as fuck. And I'm over here like in my zen, just trying to like calm down because I get nervous. You know what I'm saying? I need to calm down. Like Bon Iver.
You always about that mental wellness, bro. You keep a good head on your shoulders. Who taught you that?
I don't know. My mom, probably. She never showed. She's always concerning, but she never showed, like, the internal stresses getting to her. Moms do that, though. In general, I feel like.
A strong-headed mom has made a lot of strong-headed men.
Definitely. Absolutely. That's the only way. Honestly, Yeah.
Sam, what would be the ideal Samwyse day? Can you take us through kind of what like how you navigating through this perfect day for yourself? I'm asking a lot of manifesting questions because right now with quarantine, we're all locked in. I feel like I don't know, man. I just feel like there is a lot to talk about, but also I want to be talking about the future because I know that this is going to be an interview in 2 years. People are looking back at and being like, damn, he called it.
Right. Exactly. I feel that. The perfect day. I guess I could walk you through what I do currently and then what I'm trying to do that I'm struggling.
I would love to hear that.
I'm definitely struggling with working out and going on runs. Something that I literally bought running shoes.
This will make me do it.
Just to be like, I have no excuse. I can't say that I don't have running shoes. And now sometimes I try to make the excuse, I don't have any clean shorts or whatever. I'm like, man, fuck that. So
I could run in jeans if I had to.
Right, which I did see someone doing, which is wild.
Corona ain't penetrating that kneecap.
So I wake up, I meditate, I sit in my bed low key. And usually the first thing I do is grab my phone and then
it's a huge dopamine spike to start the day.
Exactly. And then I put my phone down immediately because I'm like, fuck that. I can't deal with that. You know what I'm saying?
Like if your eyes are still waking up when you're looking at your phone, you're just like disgusted in yourself. I'm like, am I straining my eyeballs to look at my phone before I'm awake?
Yeah. And then also it's weird because that self-judgment is also toxic for yourself at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
a great point. That it's not just that you're doing a bad thing, but it's also that you're judging yourself for it.
yeah, and that's something that I've been struggling with too, like lately, like, because that's a big habit of mine. Like, I'll wake up and then like 2 hours later realize that I just been scrolling for 2 hours awake in my bed, and I'm like,
Right.
what the fuck am I doing? You know what I'm saying? So lately I've been getting up. I have my yoga mat over here. You know what I'm saying? I'll roll that shit out. I just do like some yoga stretches. Sometimes it's short. Sometimes it turns into like a long whole like session type situation. Sometimes I'm just stretching, and if I have shit on my mind, then I'll have to shorten it. You know what I'm saying? And get to business. I've been making these green smoothies. The ingredients have changed almost every day.
Bro, smoothies are, I think, the best food. And just side note, best food while you're tripping, smoothies.
Really?
Yeah, they're easy because otherwise sometimes I'm chewing and I'm like, I forget how to swallow or some shit.
Damn, I feel that. I can't really, I can't be off the acid anymore, bro. I don't
Oh,
think.
for real?
Yeah, last time I tripped acid was a while ago, and it's a wild experience. Partly because I was dehydrated, which leads to bad trips.
Yeah.
But
Your body has to be in a really good physical state when you take it.
yeah, definitely. But I have this fear because my grandma, my mom's mom, I never knew her that well, but she had schizophrenia. That's the joint
Got
with
you.
people, or you see things.
That's the one where acid it like induces it. It doesn't cause it, but it induces it.
And weed, both of them, since they're both psychotropic and
Right.
psychedelic. You know what I'm saying? Um, so that's something like I'm always like scared about because like last time I took acid, I was at this. It's the wildest. It was a flame spinning festival. It was like a
Oh,
festival for people who do flame arts.
you're
You know what I'm
such
saying?
a fucking hippie. I love it.
It was wild. It was with my girl at the time. We went to Hawaii. She's low key more of a hippie than I am.
Big bet.
Big bets. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that as a negative thing. I'm just saying
Nah.
I was doing a lot of this shit with her, and I'm not doing this shit without her, and she's still doing this shit. So
Facts.
that's all I'm saying.
A great learning experience for sure.
Exactly. But I'm sitting in this metal dome. It's like made with sacred geometrical patterns of the metal. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
you can climb on top of it. In the middle of this metal dome is a hanging what's it called? Pentagon of sand. Or hexagon, 6 sides of sand. It's hanging with like fucking things at the top, and there's a pendulum. So it's like a sand box and a pendulum, and they're both hanging. So I'm coming up on the acid. This is how it came up. It was beautiful. I'm like, I just learned what an anti-spin is in arts. It's when your hand is going this way, but like the poi is going the other way.
Got you.
And it creates this trippy effect where it looks like it's not moving, but it's moving. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Let me try this out. So I'm like moving the whole sandbox this way. And then I fucking swing the pendulum the opposite way. And there was a crowd of people around me watching me do this. And I'm coming up on acid hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I look down, and like everybody around is like, yo, this is the trippiest shape I've ever seen someone make with the pendulum, all this shit. The anti-spin made it look like a neutrino, like those fucking science books. Like I was like, holy shit, this is wild. So I was beginning my trip. It was perfect. And then I sat down.
You're like, and then I realized I was on fire.
No, it was low key. I feel like it was worse than that. My girl left. She went to the tent. I'm sitting in the dome. I'm wire wrapping a necklace, and I start hearing fucking voices and people like talking about what I'm doing and talking to me or some shit. And I look up, and everyone's like in their own space talking to their own people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, okay. Am I hearing shit? Damn. Just keep working. Whole tea I'm not drinking. It had been hours. I'm fucking wire rapping. And I hear like, oh, that looks really cool. And I look up and I go, thank you. And like the people were in their own conversation and turn around and they're like, what'd you say? And I was like, I was so smacked that at that point, I was embarrassed to admit that
you're tripping, but they would actually think it was funny. They wouldn't care, but you're in your head, of course.
To admit that maybe they had talked about the shit that I had, because I was like, damn, that's hella self-centered. And then what came out was like not even words. I was like, oh, I'm tripping. And they were like, okay, I hope you're good. And then this dude came and saved me, bro. He came and sat down next to me and like started fucking dancing, all like the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen, and like in my face, like fucking with me. And then just goes, let's go get some water. And I was like, yo, because I'm sitting there fucking staring at him like this, like clearly something is up with me. You know what I'm saying?
He's like, bro, this guy is tripping. His mouth looks a little dry. He needs some water.
He saw me at the beginning of the trip. So he like reconnected, and then I got water and he wasn't tripping. And I look, and we're in this like farm field, and I look up and he confirmed what I was seeing with sober eyes. But the sky had a line going directly down the middle of it. And on the left side was the sun setting, or the sun rising, sorry, and it was orange. And on the right side was the moon setting, and it was purple. And there was a fucking, like an actual line, like on a simulation when it's switching from night to day.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, yo, I've never seen the earth do some shit like this. And that was my last tripping experience, and I was like, I'm good. Oh, and then I sat down in the car, and
it sounds terrible and also good at the same time.
It definitely helped me learn about myself and like calm my mental voices. You know what I'm saying? Like we have our thoughts.
You know, so many people, though, are out there promoting psychedelics. And it's just, to me, like, look, I'm a hippie. Everyone knows what all the shit I get into, if you know me. But the thing is I'm not promoting like that because that's super immature. And also, it's unwarranted, bro. Like, there's a lot of people out there who should not be tripping psychedelics.
Definitely. And there's a lot of people who use it for the wrong reason. Like,
yeah, like I'm not gonna fucking tell. There's like, cause I'm up on the TikTok game these days, and I'm seeing like young people promoting it, and it's like, look, you're a young human being who had a good experience, but you're not understanding the impact that you could be causing people.
Right, especially people who aren't in the right mental space, who don't know what they're expecting, and they're like, if it's being promoted as a party drug, that's not the move, bro. That's not what these tools were made for, you know what I'm saying? In nature or the human-made ones. And let me say this as well. Most acid that you get is not acid.
Facts. Preach to them.
90% of the acid that you're buying on the street is not acid, yo. It's some type of research chemical.
It's some designer drug. Exactly.
And that's why I can't fuck with acid, bro. Shrooms, I know that shit's from the earth.
Not even gonna front. Acid gave me a slight eye twitch for the rest of my life.
Damn. Acid gave one of my brother's friends the most ridiculous. I would never wish this upon anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was trip sitting for them on New Year's one time. And my brother's 3 years older than me. And my brother had taken 2 tabs, and his friend.
Your brother's a hella funny ass guy.
Yeah, he's funny. His friend, though, does a lot of drugs, and he took like 11 tabs or something.
Oh, wow, yeah.
It was like a whole sheet or some shit like that. And
some stupid shit, honestly.
Yeah, and we smoked a blunt, and I could feel, I'm a very empathetic person, and I feel energy a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? And I felt him come up. Like, I had the butterflies in my stomach as if I was coming up. It was so weird, dog. And I looked at them, and they're fucking boom. And I'm like, oh, shit. Like, I just felt y'all come up. That's how hard I know.
Oh, my God.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and his friend literally is just looking at us, and he's like, where am I? where are we? And like, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, this is where we gonna, but my brother was tripping and he was so like calm. It was awesome, bro. He was just like, it's all good. We're in Georgetown. We're walking back to the car, and we're like walking, and this dude's like, where am I? And apparently he was seeing faces everywhere.
Oh,
Like in
shit.
everything. And they were all making faces at him, and he was trying to make faces back at them.
Mm.
And that's something that followed him for the next like couple months. You know what I'm saying? Is the faces.
Wow. Yes. I mean, you got to be responsible with this stuff always, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I love how our conversation flows. So you wake up, you meditate.
Okay, so back. I trip.
Yeah. I trip acid in Hawaii, come back to DC.
I wake up, meditate. I'll make my smoothie. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I go on a walk in the morning just to be outside because I know I'm gonna be on a computer for most of the day.
Right. Yeah, that's the producer life. It's like you have so much soul in you, yet you're planning on being on the computer for a lot of the day.
Exactly, because that's how I express myself and get paid.
Right. Yeah, that's where the art and the money comes in.
Right. Like I've been mixing for a couple people, so that's been my daily is just jumping right into these songs that I'm mixing that are coming out soon, some of them. One of them is called Stretch Your Hands with somebody we went to school with, Jack Terzian.
Facts. Dope.
It's him and Iotemi have a track, and I mixed that joint. It's beautiful. Yeah, usually my days aren't very structured, to be honest. The mornings are like the most structured part, and I have to, if I'm mixing, I have to smoke. I don't know why.
I love to smoke when I mix too.
It's just I need to get in the zone, and I need to get hone in, you know. That I'll sometimes if I have to mix something and I know it's gonna take all day, I'll make a beat first so that I can keep the creative juices flowing. Because sometimes, you know, that's where my battle with the different parts of my mind come in. So like if I know I'm gonna be engineering something that's not mine, or even something that is mine, I will either procrastinate or just like feel like I need to create something first. You know, I don't know why, what that is like.
Well, let's dive into it. What is it?
That's a great question. Part of it is definitely procrastination. I'm gonna say that.
I hate when I feel like I'm literally procrastinating on my project like it's a fucking school essay or some shit. Like, what is wrong with my brain? I think school lightweight did it to us.
Nah, school definitely did that shit to me. Because first of all, I was talking to my friend. I used corruptifile.org hella times at Loyola.
What's that?
I'm so glad you asked, and I'm so glad you didn't know what that was. So, corruptifile.org for all of my academic friends is a way to get a paper extension without having to ask for a paper extension. You feel me? So, so you just upload your doc file or whatever, and it looks exactly the same, but when they go to open it, it'll just say this file is corrupted. You know what I'm saying? I haven't had a single teacher catch on, but I've also never used it twice on the same teacher because I think that's dumb.
That would be so dumb.
It was super dumb. But one time I got a 2.5 week extension of using that because I guess Shorty did not open it or grade it for like 2 weeks. But my dumb ass still didn't finish the paper during that whole 2 weeks. So she hit me up to get the joint, and I was like, fuck. And so I wrote it like
that night.
Yeah, but I don't know, bro, like freshman year, I remember I woke up at 7 a.m., wrote a 2.5 page philosophy paper, went back to sleep for 30 minutes, printed it out, and went to class at 11:30. Got like a 92 on that joint.
Bro, you're one of those guys who, like, even though you didn't like school, you are good at school.
Yeah, maybe. Certain parts, maybe, yeah. But the whole point being that definitely followed into my professional life, and that's a personal goal that I'm also trying to get back of. I got this little whiteboard right here.
The whiteboard's a game changer, yeah, man.
It's only game changer if you use it.
Yeah, like Walt and I bought a a huge whiteboard. It was only like $65, like a big one. And we have all the different aspects of our businesses, our lives up there. And it's really changed my life, bro.
Real. I definitely just wiped my whole whiteboard clean. That felt good. And I'm restructuring it, you know.
I have like a slight suggestion for the format of your day if you're open to it.
Absolutely, bro. Yes.
So I've learned from a few of my like mentors. They say, look, split up your life into marketing, creation, finance, legal, and future plans, and then miscellaneous stuff. And then you allot certain times of your day to literally, okay, I'm going to work an hour on my finances. And it's like, wait, is there an hour worth of stuff? It's like, yeah, dude, there
Always
fucking
an hour
is.
of stuff.
Exactly. So like you break up your life into those types of categories, however you want to break it up into, and then you allot a certain amount of time to that category so that you know you're always helping your full life cycle.
That's a great idea. Yeah, you definitely got to section it off. I just formed a new LLC yesterday, actually.
Congratulations, bro. What is it?
Mango Camp Publishing.
Publishing.
Yes, it's a publishing company.
For music, I assume.
Yes, it is a joint publishing company with me and Iotemi as joint owners because we have so much music together. It doesn't make sense for us to have two separate publishing companies for the stuff that we release together. You know what I mean? Because if it's a 50-50 company, it makes sense. You know what I mean? So,
right.
So our Irie Collective, that's basically the publishing company for Irie Collective now.
Congratulations. That's cool that you decided to go full with the publishing company. I know that, that's the, who you should talk to is Ricky from Loyola. He lives in New York right now doing a bunch of publishing work.
Really? Oh,
and he's a very smart man. And yeah, man, I talked with him, and I had some of my homies send him some of their instrumental work. He works a lot with instrumental stuff, but he was able to get shit placed.
That's incredible. I definitely gotta hit him up. Yeah, the dude that we're actually going to Cali with, he has a publishing deal. With
cool.
Sony, and that's why we're kind of going over there to see if we can work together and also get paid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, because that's why we're in this game. It's not just for one thing. It's not just to make money. It's not just to spread love, but it's both because they go hand in hand. Like
I spread the love on a scale and what I'm trying to do without money. You know what I mean? It's the fuel. It's the fuel for the engine that I'm trying to get up the mountain type shit.
100%.
Yeah. Billy O'Donnell. That's his name?
O'Connell.
O'Connell. Kill. My bad. Billy O'Connell. That's wild. He's the one who definitely shifted my perspective of money, because for a while, I was that fuck money, root of all evil. Nah, fucking evil is the root of all evil.
Yep.
And everyone and anyone can tap into that. And at the same time, anything that is created can be used for either good or evil. Even if it's an object that was created or a device that was created for good, for example, artificial intelligence, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
The intentions for that is to help and to be a useful tool. However, we've seen how people have already used that elections, you feel me, to enhance the evilest of things, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and if we aren't doing our part as capable, smart, and loving human beings to make money for ourselves, then that evil will just overpower us. And like it's like that's a huge part of our arsenal, is to have cash flow.
mm-hmm.
And so many people want to be hippies and run to the hills and forget about everything. But if you want to be a hippie in this society now, it's about feeding into the capitalistic world so that we can change that world, in my opinion.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's a top-down system. That doesn't mean it's impossible to have a revolution at the bottom that affects the top. But at the end of the day, the people at the top are wealthier then like, bruh, this whole community that I live in, if you put all of their money together, you still couldn't touch a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Like
Facts.
the scale of like Jeff Bezos is
Um,
insane. You feel me? Like that type of shit. Like, so yeah, bro. Like in order to affect change, like we need money because we're in a system that is dependent upon, you know what I'm saying, lobbying, all the laws, the fucked up laws and shit. The only reason they're passed is because these companies give them fucking $500,000 donations every couple months or whatever the fuck happens. You know what I'm saying?
and you're in DC, and so like this is a huge part
Yeah.
of that city, right?
It's funny. A lot of people don't know shit about DC. And it's DC is used to talk about presidential and Congress affairs. Like as a DC has now stated, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's the only context people know DC.
Yeah, I don't know shit about DC. Never been there.
And it's really sad because most of the people who work in Congress and all that shit, they don't live in DC.
They got a house in DC, maybe.
They might have a house in DC, but they definitely live in Virginia or Maryland because it's cheaper. You can have a big ass house for like the same price as a condo in DC. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
and DC is 97% Democratic. So
Wow.
a lot of people don't fuck with that. And a
Right.
lot of people don't understand that. We are not a state. You know what I'm saying? We have one person in Congress who can't vote on anything. We still are taxed like a state. My taxes for my DC takes out more than fucking Louisiana when I was living in Louisiana,
Damn.
which is wild. And like, what does that go towards? Who knows, bro? We had a mayor, Marion Barry, one of the best mayors in DC. He was caught smoking crack with a prostitute, and my dude was reelected. You feel me?
Oh my Lord. That is
That
just
shows you. That shows you. we, but it's funny because even though he did that, he has done more for the city and for the underserved in the city than our current mayor, who is literally as soon as she got elected, started Muriel Bowser. She fucking started approving literally every new development that's coming her way. All these projects and buildings being put up, they have to be approved by the mayor. And she's signing off on all of them joints, getting bread, you know what I'm saying? Not
facts.
not giving a fuck about how it's actually harming the city and all that shit. It's very interesting. Yeah.
What's a sector of the world that you would like to help when, I mean, obviously we can help right now, but when you have
Resources.
have these resources, where's Samwyse going to be wanting to put his love into?
The youth. The youth them. You know what I'm saying? At all times, like clearly the future is in the young people. And these are some of the most underserved. I feel like one, our schooling system is fucked up. So there's a lack of real education, and especially for those who can't like afford, you know, whose family can't afford internet and laptops for their kids and or whatever. You know what I mean? Like they definitely are at a disadvantage. Um, a lot of people don't even know what the possibilities are. They don't respect school because they don't have, you know, context for it, and there's not. The system is just fucking fraudulent, bro. Like Temmie was telling me he works in Howard County, Maryland, which is probably about an hour away from me right now, hour and some change. And they're before the pandemic started, they weren't allowed to fail students, which is illegal. What he's telling me sounds illegal. He said they could not get less than a 65 on any assignment or test. All they could sign their name and leave the whole thing blank, 65. That's failing kids, bro. Like that's just for numbers, bro. Just for money, because there's money in the success of kids, and if there's unsuccessful kids, then the schools don't get money. And I think that's backwards as fuck. You know what I mean? If there's success,
Absolutely.
yeah, if there's unsuccessful kids, then that school clearly needs more resources because they can't teach the kids appropriately.
And it's hard because, you know, those schools, um, the funding gets taken away from like creative programs and stuff like that. And like, I really resonate with what you said, because for my personal goal is, my goal is to help underprivileged youth to have more creative options to be able to dive into.
Yes, definitely. One of my long-term goals was to own a city block in DC and have affordable housing, and also like a community center with a recording studio and like all these creative endeavors. You know what I'm saying? A
'Cause
hub.
it's like, you know, our kids shouldn't just be, you know, having to sit down and try to, let's say, play piano as young kids, but like, let's give them like fucking hella paint to throw at a canvas, or like, let's like, you know, do like weird, cool art projects, like just stuff to help open their brain to see that it's more, there's more to art than drawing something realistically. Cause that kind of fucked me up as a kid. I was like, okay, I can't draw realistically, so that means that I am not an artist.
And they never told you about like Basquiat or artists like that,
Yeah.
who were young kids who took their own perspective and shifted what art is, like what people call art. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure when Basquiat first started and when his first piece got put in a gallery, I'm sure all these fucking old rich white people were like, this isn't art, this is trash. You know what I mean?
Right.
And now he's one of the most hailed artists of the past generations. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just one example. There's endless examples. Like, you know, my brother is a visual artist, so I respect that whole game.
Yeah,
But,
it's a tough game. I don't get it, but I respect it. I love
bro,
it.
you're nice. I saw some of the paintings you did.
Hey, thanks, bro. True. I guess I'm just like, I'm still navigating these waters, and I don't know, it's just something that's new to me, so I still don't even think of myself as it,
Mm.
if that makes sense.
Someone said, just because you don't share your art with the world doesn't mean you're not an artist. You know?
Facts. You're
And
right.
that says a lot, because I also have so much unreleased music. Like, my friend who said that to me, or I don't know if they got that quote from somewhere, but they haven't released music. She's a really dope artist from here, and she had a kid, and she hasn't released music in like a year and a half, 2 years or something like that. And she's like super well known in DC. And so we were having a conversation about that. So yeah, just because, hey, for everyone watching, just because people don't know what you do doesn't mean that you're not an artist. You know what I mean? Just because you haven't built up the courage or don't think you're nice enough to post pictures or videos of yourself singing, or, you know what I'm saying? Do you, man? You still who you are. That's all.
Facts.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, Samwyse, I want to thank you so much for coming on, man. This series has been blossoming, and it's because of beautiful, insightful, mindful people like you who are driven to make a change, man. I could see that throughout this whole thing, and this truly was a great example of peace and conversation, man. Thank you.
Let me exit this interview with a new song that Temi dropped.
Yes, sir.
Fade out.
At the drop of a bomb, everything changed so fast. At a moment did it last. Deep down I knew